Let's move on to adults and sort of your side, elderly patients, in terms of protein and calcium. And the study that you did that was incredible, the old age homes just increasing dairy. I've just found in clinical practice that the elderly are not getting enough protein, I think mainly because they can't process it as well. I don't know if the GI tract is just more sensitive. I've got a lot more sensitive as I got older, but let's look at what you found with regards to the studies that you did, and then let's look at some causal factors generally across the board. And I know that at old age homes, there were some variables and factors why they didn't get enough dairy or protein in there, or vitamin D, or because dairy is very, very special. But let's look at your research and then some causal factors.
Yeah, so what we've observed in aged care homes is their protein intake isn't enough. It's about 0.8 grams per kilogram body weight. And we know with older adults, they need more protein in order to stimulate muscle protein synthesis. So how well they can put that protein into a muscle. And I equate it to, I want the amino acids, the things that make up the protein, to go into the cell. And when we're younger, we just tap at the door and opens it up and in they all flood. With older people, we have to knock at the door harder to get the same response for the door to open. So they need more protein to get the same effect as a younger person. So their needs are higher, but they don't eat as much because they're old, their appetite's lower, they're not moving and that. So what we did is we took a group of older adults that lived in care that we knew were protein low in protein, so about 0.8 grams per kilogram body weight. We knew from the data they were only getting about one serving of dairy, so milk, yogurt, and cheese, but also about one serving of foods from the meat food groups. That's meat, fish, eggs, legumes, poultry. And so they're deficient. They're insufficient more than deficient. And so if we just simply provided the additional dairy food, because one, they recognize dairy food, milk, yogurt, cheese, and two, it's high in good quality protein, and it also had the other nutrients needed. So we basically fed residents in 30 aged care homes for 2 years with additional dairy food. So we got them up to 3.5 servings a day, and the other residents just went about their normal menu. And by doing that, we reduced fractures by 33%,
Sure.
the hip fractures by 46%, and we found all but one fracture came from a fall, and falls were reduced by 11%. And then we had a subgroup of older adults, and we did bone density on them. We did bone structure using high resolution PQCT. We took blood samples. We did all of this. And what we found in these older adults is bone loss was not detectable compared to bone loss occurring about 2% a year in the residents that ate the normal food. The ones that had the more dairy food maintained the muscle in their arms and legs, but those that in their normal eating or the regular food were losing muscle in their arms and legs. They lost weight, they declined their nutritional status. So we were able to maintain their bone, their muscle, and we also had serum that was showing that their bone turnover marker was stabilized, where it kept going up in the control group. We saw IGF-1, which is a hormone that's associated with sort of an anabolic effect, that went up. So we saw all these fantastic changes just using food. That was the beauty of it.